Member Davis and Member Garrick, we'd like to get started. Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call to order the January 17th, 2023 school board meeting. This evening, I have the pledge and invocation, and I thought I would share with you a note I'm sure you've all heard before from Dorothy Nolte. Children learn what they live. If children live with encouragement, they learn to be confident. If children live with praise, they learn to appreciate. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If children live with acceptance, they learn to find love in the world. If children live with recognition, they learn to have a goal. If children live with sharing, they learn to be generous. If children live with honesty and fairness, they learn what truth and justice are. If children live with security, they learn to have faith in themselves and in those around them. If children live with friendliness, they learn that the world is a nice place in which to live. Thank you. If you'll please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The roll call, let the record reflect that Vice Chair Sanchez, School Board Member Pennick, School Board Member Garrick, School Board Member Davis, the School Board Attorney, and Superintendent are all here. This evening, we have some acknowledgements. We have Katie Murphy, who is Seminole County Council of PTAs. Thank you for joining us. Michelle Jones, Seminole County Council PTA, thank you for being here. And Leanne Briataiko, I'm sorry, I messed that up. Nice to have you here. Thank you for joining us. The roll call order for this evening is Vice Chair Sanchez, Member Pennick, Member Davis, Member Garrick, and then myself. Superintendent, do you have any agenda modifications?
Yes, I do, and the addendum for good cause is marked on our electronic agenda by a green flag named addendum item.
Thank you. School board members, are there any modifications? We'll go through roll call order. Vice Chair Sanchez?
No modifications, thank you.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
No modifications, thank you.
Member Davis? Member Garrick?
No modifications, thank you.
Thank you, and I have no modifications. I can't hear. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move up. We have an RFP for painting services, item 6K, I'm sorry, 6K. Is there a member that would like to serve on that RFP? Nobody?
We don't have to have.
It's for painting services? Thank you very much, Ms. Member Davis. Is there a motion to approve the agenda outline?
Motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Superintendent, do we have any recognitions for this evening or presentations?
Yes, we do, and we will get started with our Veteran of the Month, who will be introduced by Mr. Brian Emmons. Dr. Marion Cummings.
Thank you.
Not Mr. Emmons.
Superintendent Beaman and board members, our veteran of the month is Specialist Danielle Lemons. Please come forward, Ms. Danielle Lemons. Mrs. Lemons joined the U.S. Army May 1997. She was stationed with the 24th Personal Service Battalion at Fort Stewart, Georgia, where she began her career as an Army Personnel Services Specialist. Her job entailed the participation in occupational classification and management of manpower resources. She and her team provided the upkeep and maintenance of personnel files for over 20,000 full-time soldiers. She provided personnel services for commanders of her battalion as it came to ensuring newly assigned enlisted personnel were instructed and trained in military courtesy, customs of service, and command regulations. As a personnel service specialist, she, alongside the commanders, assisted in the coordination of training at all levels while monitoring the completion of said trainings by the enlisted soldiers. In both 1998 and 2000, she had the honor of being selected as one of 20 soldiers to be a part of the U.S. Army Soldier Show presented by the Army Entertainment Division at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Soldiers, to include Danielle Lemons, were not only selected on their musicality, but also by their representation of the Army standards of appearance, fitness, and military bearing. Danielle Lemons was part of an elite selection of soldiers that had over 100 performances at more than 54 military installations across the globe. She concluded her active military service at the U.S. Army Garrison in Youngstown, Korea in 2000. She then transitioned to the 377th Military Intelligence Battalion in Orlando, Florida, where she served in the reserves until 2013. During her time in the Army, she knew she wanted to continue her acts of public service and leadership and began her SCPS career as a kindergarten teacher at Goldsboro Elementary in 2010. During that time, she not only obtained 2 additional college degrees, but she also became a team leader, school-wide new teachers mentor, facilitator at the Power of You, and SCPS new teacher orientation. She also sponsored a host of clubs to include a singing group named Gemspirations, while she was featured on Fox 35 Good Day Orlando in 2017. Before leaving Goldsboro, she became the school's behavioral support specialist, and in 2018, she was promoted to coordinator of VPK. She is the proud wife of 14 years to Sean Lemons, her husband, and an even prouder mom of 6 children, 5 girls, 1 boy, ages 23 to 10. Her son is currently going through basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. 2 daughters are in college, a senior majoring in creative writing, and a freshman at Seminole State currently majoring in nursing. A daughter who has joined the workforce, 1 middle schooler, and a 5th grader. Congratulations and thank you, Specialist Lemons, for your service to our country.
Hi, good evening, school board members and Superintendent Beaman. I'm very excited tonight because we're going to be recognizing some amazing mentors. I'm the Foundation for Seminole County Public Schools Executive Director, Jean Van Smith, and with me are Shannon Reininger and Stacy Ann Moncrief, our program supervisors for our Take Stock in Children program. So January is National Mentoring Month, and we're here tonight to recognize our mentors in the Take Stock in Children program. The program is a high school mentoring and scholarship program where students meet once a week with volunteer mentors. All of our students come from low-income households, and the majority are students of color who will be the first in their families to attend college. In addition to mentoring, the students also receive college readiness coaching, and at the end of the program, a 2-year Florida prepaid scholarship. Our 95 compassionate mentors support 100 students in every SCPS high school, including Seminole Virtual. We have several of our mentors here tonight, and I just want to say thank you because you are literally changing lives. Yes. I love going to the graduation ceremony because I get to see the bonds between the seniors and their mentors who've been together 4 years, and just how excited they are to be together, how much fun they're having, the laughter, they've gotten to know the families. It's with your support mentors that last year our students had 100% high school graduation rate, and went on to college or technical programs at Seminole State, UCF, FSU, and more. We could not do this program without you. So we would ask you to come up tonight. We have some Take Stock medallions for you, and we'd like to take a group photo and just recognize you for your work. Thank you so much. And then as they come up, we've got Deborah Bauer, Tanisha Wells, Julie Gabrovic, Heidi Gooch, Katie Murphy, Sean Gard Harold, and if I missed anybody, if you snuck in, Wayne Weinberg, please come on up.
Come on over.
All right, board members and Superintendent Beeman, Elementary Education is excited to announce 3 new administrators tonight. Please welcome Gary Lowe, new Assistant Principal at Castleberry Elementary. Mr. Lowe is a graduate of Ball State University and Indiana University and is in his 35th year in education. He's been a classroom teacher in grades 3 through 6 and has served as a district math coach and most recently as a school administration manager at Castleberry. In attendance supporting Mr. Lowe are members of the Castleberry leadership team, Principal Mallory Lambert, School Administration Manager Brittany Jacobs, Reading Coach Stephanie Morcilliet, Math Coach Tim Van Hoven, Behavioral Interventionist Cheyenne Mathias. Congratulations to Mr. Lowe.
Good evening, board members. Our next new elementary assistant principal is Mrs. Amy Sink, who's now the assistant principal at Longwood Elementary. Amy is a product of Seminole County Public Schools. Having graduated from Winter Springs High School, she is a proud UCF graduate holding an elementary, education degree, and educational leadership master's degree. Amy has been a classroom teacher, school administrative manager, and instructional coach, and is excited to join Longwood Elementary in her new role. Joining Amy is her very, very proud dad, Dwayne, and mother, Barb Moore, her niece and nephew, Abby and Skylar, as well as her husband, Alex Sink, and son, Callum. And I think we got a few more family members in that I missed their names. Congratulations to Amy Sink. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our newest elementary principal of Keith Elementary School, Mrs. Carol Lynn Tilley. Lynn has been a part of the SCPS community since she started school, working as a school bus driver while going to college, then teaching at Midway and as an instructional coach at Geneva Elementary before moving into administration. She has been an assistant principal at Hamilton, Walker, and Bentley, and excited to become the principal at Keith Elementary School. With her tonight is her husband, Bruce Tilley, family friend, and former SCPS family member, Helen Goodson. Not with her tonight is her daughter, Jordan. Congratulations, Lynn.
Good evening, school board members and Superintendent Beeman. It is with great excitement that I introduce the new assistant principal at Tuscarora Middle School, Dr. John Pagnotti. Dr. Pagnotti started his career as an American government teacher at his high school alma mater on September 11, 2001. He has since worked for Orange County Public Schools, the school district of Osceola County, Fulton County Schools in Georgia, and the International American School in Dubai. In Seminole County, he has served as an ePathways facilitator and a school administration manager at Childs Middle School. He earned his bachelor's degree in political science, a master's in social studies education, and a PhD in education from the University of Central Florida. He earned a second master's degree in educational leadership from the University of West Florida. He is excited and proud to continue his service to students, teachers, and the community in this new role. Joining him this evening is his partner in life and wife, Dorianne, his daughter, Emily, and not with us tonight is his son, Ethan, who started his first job tonight at BurgerFi, and we also have the principal. Good luck at the new job, Ethan. And the principal of Tuscarora Middle School, Randy Schuler.
Ms. Cardona and team, if you'll move on up, our focus on student achievement is in regards to ESOL and world languages, and it's a department update, board members.
Good evening. Is it on? You can hear me?
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening, Superintendent Beeman, Madam Chair Kraus, and school board members. Thank you for giving us this great opportunity to highlight some of the wonderful programs that we offer in our department. Tonight, I will give you highlights of the ESOL, World Languages, Dual Language, and our Latinos in Action programs in our district. I would like to start with the next slide, and just to give you guys an overview of the ESOL program that we offer in Seminole County, our demographics of our students. So currently, right now, we are servicing 3,645 English language learners in Seminole County. The LY stands for the code that we use in Skyward in our student information system. And how do the students are identified for the program? As soon as the parents indicate on the home language survey a yes, indicating that they speak another language at home, or does the student frequently speak another language, or do the parents speak another language at home? This tells us that we have to test the student with an English language proficiency test, and once the students have met that criteria of the students, then are entered into the program, and we service these wonderful students. Our code in Skyward for the LMs, these are students that have exited from the program and that have met the exiting criteria set forth by the state of Florida. So currently, right now, to exit from the program, our students from kindergarten to second grade, they have to pass our state ESOL proficiency exam, which is Access, and we'll talk a little bit more about Access in a couple of minutes. Currently, right now, we monitor 1,039 students. We monitor these students every 9 weeks. We check their grades to make sure that they're being successful in all their classes. If the student is struggling in a class, then we have a meeting with the parents and the teachers, and if the committee decides that the student needs to come back to the ESOL program, then we do so and continue providing those services for the student. Then we have our ZZs.
Yes, good evening. My name is Ibis Navarez. I'm the ESOL program specialist. So the ZZ is another code that we use for Skyward, and it is for the students who have been tested and did not qualify. So we do have the ones that Ms. Cardona mentioned, the 3,645 who take our language proficiency entry screener exam. But along those who don't qualify, then we have over 6,000 students in the last couple of years that have been tested and did not qualify to receive ESOL services. We also have our immigrant count. We have 2,223 students who have been here within 3 years, born outside of the United States that qualify for the federal immigrant grant. So although we have many more students out there who are immigrant students in Seminole County, this is the count, 2,223, that are within 3 years from being outside of the United States born.
Thank you, Mrs. Navarez. And I should have started by introducing the panel, so let me do that quickly. Mrs. Ibis Navarez is our ESOL program specialist for the district. I also have a wonderful ESOL teacher and also the teacher from the Latinos in Action program from Lake Brantley High School, Mrs. Diana Pagan. And I also have with us tonight a wonderful student. She is the president and former ESOL student from Lake Brantley High School, Vivian Lefodesky. So thank you, ladies, for joining us. I want to also share some fun facts, demographic facts about Seminole County. Seminole County represents 101 different languages in our district, and we all speak those languages. No, we do not. But how amazing. The top 5 languages are here: Spanish, Arabic, Telugu, it's a dialect from India, Portuguese, and Mandarin Chinese are the top languages right now in Seminole County.
And then Seminole County represents 155 different countries. And the top 5 countries and where our students coming from are Venezuela, India, Puerto Rico, Colombia, and Guatemala.
And we run these queries every 2 weeks, and I could share with you that it changes. It's constantly changing. And how do we service our students in Seminole County? So we have different program models to meet the needs of our students. At the elementary level, we have the inclusion model, and this is the model that we use where we have our ELs emerge in all regular classrooms with the support of an ESOL teacher. We do have ESOL teachers at all of our elementary schools, And the ESOL teachers provides that extra support by working in intervention groups, small groups in the classroom to help our ELL students. We also have the dual language model, which we will talk a little bit more about in a couple of minutes. And at the middle and high school, the models that we have is shelter instruction model, which means that our ELL students are instructed by teachers that are certified or endorsed in the ELA classroom, but they're also inclusive in all the other content area classes. So they're immersed out there in the math, science, social studies, and elective classes at the school sites. So the next slide, it talks about our Access for ELS. So our Access for ELS is our state language proficiency assessment. We are required by the state of Florida and also by ESOL, by Every Student Succeeds Act, to administer the state assessment to all current English language learners, our LYs, those 3,000 students, every year. These are the results from last year, from 2022, and I'm happy to report that our ELS did score. We had a 33% of ELS that score proficient. And this is a big accomplishment considering for students that recently arrived or students that have been in the program 2 or 3 years to see their growth with the language. The students are tested in the 4 domains of the language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The test, the assessment, is based on the WIDA standards, which are the ESOL standards, that also include academic vocabulary. So the students have to know how to read a math problem. There are math academic vocabulary problems in the assessment. They are also tested in science. They're tested in ELA and literacy. And you could see by grade level, the proficiency level, the percentage of the students that did master that. So we are on the right track. The state average was 19%, and we did 33%.
Using Title III funds, one of the areas of focus are the supplemental professional development opportunities. We offer these every month for our teachers to empower them, not just the teachers and administrators, to empower them to support the English language learners. So here's just a glimpse of a couple of PDs that we've done since November, but we haven't put them all because it will be overwhelming. But we have from vocabulary to evidence-based strategies. We do PDs on the WIDA standards and the BEST standards, thinking maps, cultural diversity, and also our monthly PLCs. We meet with our elementary, middle, and high school ESOL teachers every single month, not just to talk about compliance, but the latest strategies that they can incorporate into the classrooms to help our ESOL students.
And one of the trainings that we are offering this week is on access. So we are getting ready for our next administration that will start on February 6th for the 2023 Access for ELS state assessment. The second focus of Title III and also the ESOL program is our ESOL Family Leadership Institute. We offer trainings for our families at the Family Connection Center, which the office is located in the pre-K building. You could go every morning, Monday through Thursday morning. We offer our morning classes for our families, adult English classes, and you could really observe a rich, diverse group of families there taking their classes. We also take advantage to teach them about the Seminole way, how to navigate the district, the educational part, how do you enroll. We talk about the AP, all the learning opportunities that we offer in Seminole County. We share that with our families there too. We also offer computer literacy classes, literacy skills. We also have 2 stations set up there for any newcomers, any new families that come up that need assistance with the online registration. We help them with that there at the center too.
A program we love to highlight is our dual language program. It is offered at 8 elementary schools. As you can see the list there: Carillon, Forest City, Redbug, Spring Lake, Sterling Park, Walker, Wicklow, and our latest addition this year was Eastbrook. The dual language program is to empower our students to become biliterate, bicultural, bilingual, and it is a 50-50 model. So the students take Spanish in the morning and they have those math and science standards and the ELA embedded, and in the afternoon they have the English portion, the ELA in English. So at the end, what's so wonderful being a formal dual language classroom teacher is those benefits that it has for our ESOL students, being able to help them in their native language of Spanish, and then learning the English language, and then our non-ELs who acquire the language English, and then getting to learn that second language. So again, the whole point is that cognitive development, those early language literacy, and in the end, for all students, 36 at the end to be bilingual, bicultural, and bilingual, and global citizens. So here you could just see some pictures on the left-hand side, some PDs that we offer on a monthly basis to our dual language teachers. And if you ever get to walk into the classrooms, you'll definitely know when you're walking into a dual language classroom, you're able to see those best standards in the target language, depending on what classroom you're walking into, whether it's Spanish or English. But they will have their boards, their whiteboards, the standards up there, their math, their science, the ELA, those social studies, you'll definitely know when you walk in. And in the bottom, that's just one of the teachers doing a dual language science lesson. And then on the next slide, it is a video. We definitely want you to take a look inside one of our second grade dual language classrooms at Wicklow. And this is a science lesson, just a little glimpse of what it is when you walk in to one of the classrooms. Or click here for play.
Comunicar. Experimentos. Muy bien. Cecilia.
They learn about the ocean.
Aprenden del océano.
Predictan.
Predicen. Muy bien. Vamos a ver ahora qué instrumentos usa un científico. ¿Cómo se llama? Balanza. ¿Qué yo puedo medir en esa balanza? ¿Qué puedo medir? ¿Mi pelo?
No.
¿Qué puedo medir?
La fruta.
Las frutas. Muy bien. ¿Los científicos usan la balanza?
Sí.
Vamos a otro instrumento que vamos a usar mucho en matemática. ¿Cómo se llama este? Muy bien. ¿Y para qué el científico usa la regla?
Para medir.
Para medir. ¿Y qué mide? ¿El qué? El largo. Muy bien, excelente. Ay, se me olvidó cómo se llama este. Este no te lo sabes. ¿Cómo se llama?
Lupa.
Lupa. ¿Y para qué yo uso la lupa? ¿Para qué?
Para observar.
¿Y con qué yo observo? ¿Con qué? ¿Qué uso para observar?
Ojos.
Los ojos. Muy bien. Y uno de los sentidos. Muy bien.
That's just a glimpse, and if you heard some of the standards there, everything is aligned to the best standards. So the teacher was asking to predict, to observe, what is the conclusion, what are the items used for this scientific experiment. So everything in the dual language from the science and the math aligned to the best standards. The next program that we would love to highlight, and I want to start off by thanking the board members, thanking every one of you for helping and supporting the textbook adoption last year for world languages. It was really needed. So we were able to adopt our Spanish and French textbooks for all levels 1, 2, and 3. These are just a sample of the level 1 book, Auténtico, and Das Brunch for French. And I could share with you that this year the teachers are very excited. We have new curriculum, new resources. Actually, we have a training going on right now upstairs, just really embedded, and I'm just getting positive feedback because we are up to date what we want to accomplish and really helping our students become near native speakers in the target language, because that's what we want, right, that they're able to speak and understand the language. The next slide also provides just a glimpse of the AP results for world languages. We did have a decrease due to the pandemic in enrollment, but we are trying our best to get it back up there. But you could see the increase of the passing rate of the AP Spanish and French exams. We have amazing AP world language teachers out there. What we really want is for our students to continue with the language. I want them to, when they graduate from Seminole County, to be bilingual, literate, and global citizens. And I'm really encouraging the students to continue with that target language. So at the end, they could receive, as a senior, their seal of biliteracy. This is awarded, and this is by the state of Florida, and it's part of our strategic plan to increase the number of students that obtain the seal of biliteracy, indicating that they are proficient in all 4 domains of the language. So we are really working hard to ensure that for our high school students. And starting at the elementary level, these dual language students, as they continue and progress with the languages, we will get them up there. So the next slide, I'm very proud to. We have here our amazing Latinos in Action teacher to talk about our Latinos in Action class from Lake Brantley High School, Mrs. Diana Pagan.
Thank you. Good evening, Superintendent Beeman and all present school board members, as well as guests in here in the room tonight. I'm going to start by defining what Latinos in Action means to me, because I've been doing Latinos in Action for 5 years. To me, Latinos in Action equals an opportunity for our students. Latinos in Action provides real-life leadership experiences by participating in student-led service, social, and professional committees. It develops linguistic proficiency, refines social skills, and deepens understanding of the value of being bilingual, biliterate, and bicultural through literacy tutoring, which is one of the biggest things that we do weekly. I feel privileged, it is a privilege to me, to have directly impacted the life of an average of 100 students in these 5 years, approximately 20 students per year. In those 5 years, we have helped spread awareness in our school and our community. We're talking about 100 families that are possibly looking at a brighter future as a result of this program. I have witnessed an improvement in attendance in these 5 years when it comes to Latinos in Action students, which are also ESOL students, either LYs, active students, or LF, students that are being monitored. We've seen how their academic path has grown in the sense of direction. Now they want to do things and experiment. They feel confident in doing so. We've seen parent engagement, an increase on that, and that's something that we know. I know as a parent myself, and I know as an educator, that parents in the building means or equals student success. And last but not least, I've seen how my students become immediate role models after learning the basics of the program or of the leadership class, and being able to have that realization of where this is going to take them. Seminole County currently has 8 schools participating or offering these classes. That means about 700 students or families have been impacted with an opportunity of growth that will take them to understanding this school system, assimilating faster. It's going to bolster students' current academic performance while we prepare them for the future, one that they didn't see before, Latinos in Action. Latinos in Action has the 4 pillars of Latinos in Action, number 1 being personal asset, which is what help our kids acclimate faster. They understand and bring their identity and leverage their cultural, social, and personal assets into the school building, into the classroom. They feel confident. Number 2 would be excellence in education. It sounds like it should be a common goal for students to excel academically. To our Latino students, when they face the change of the country, the language, and the academics, they get lost in the transition. Latinos in Action, this class gives them a sense of direction. It really does. I've seen it. I have to say that this is my 5th year. The previous 4 years, all Latinos in Action seniors have graduated and reported attending a college here in Florida or elsewhere. Number 3, it would be service. The service that we do on a weekly basis is tutoring across the street, our partner school, Forest City Elementary, where our students and the students at Forest City benefit from each other. It is incredible. It is one of the favorite things that we do. We do many other things. We serve our school food pantry. We work on projects. And then last, the leadership opportunity. Our students feel equal in the classroom. They all have positions because they belong to the makeup of the class, and or they are part of committees where they have a voice. Having said all this, I wish I could have more time to say more. Thank you for the opportunity given to them, because they grow because the opportunity was given to them. They make me proud, and I'm pretty sure all Latinos in Action teachers feel the same way. Thank you, board members who approved this leadership class opportunity, and thank you, Ms. Cardona. Now I leave you with Miriam Latosevsky, Lake Brantley Latinos in Action current class president.
Good evening, Ms. Superintendent, Ms. Beeman, and all the school board members and people present right now. So Latinos in Action is a leadership class that has changed the students in an academic way and also a leadership way. It has helped them to improve their leadership skills by serving their community, having more responsibilities, and learning to collaborate. Our leadership makeup it consists of the class president, the historian, the secretary, and co-VPs, VP service, VP social, and VP professionals. One of our students shared how Latinos in Action has shown her and assisted her in developing and her abilities, created awareness by the end of her first year, considering AP and honor classes. Regardless of the English language level, striving excellence in our classes, advocating for ourselves, and remembering to be confident academically, noticing the ability to stand for more opportunities. As an ESOL student who benefited from both the ESOL program and the Latinos in Action class, I would like to share my growth from the moment I arrived to this country up until now. I can say that the improvement of my academic and leadership skills have been noticeable. It has helped me understand and realize that I'm capable to do anything I set my mind to with this support. One example of this would be the creation of a guidebook who was created for the upcoming ESOL students who are not aware of the process and the guidelines to be able to graduate. I am a current senior in high school that has met graduation requirements while being in the ESOL program for 3 years. I am also a current member of the District Equity Meeting 2022-2023, in which we discuss and assist in finding solutions to improve our Seminole County schools. Grateful for the opportunities given to me and any student that has come to this country and joined the ESOL program as Latinos, as also been in the Latinos in Action class as they come to this new country. Thank you so much.
These are the schools that we currently offer the Latinos in Action. We have them in most of our high schools next year. Well, we already started this year with Teague, but we will have Teague Middle School added to the list. So very proud, and Miriam, I am so proud of her. Like she says, she came to this country from Venezuela, didn't speak English, and in 3 years, she exited from the program. And listen to her now, she is one of our success stories. So very, very, very proud of her. And I want to conclude, like everything in any program, we do have challenges, but I consider those challenges opportunities. I always say that's an opportunity here. So right now, currently, our enrollment of newcomers, we do have newcomers coming in. Like I said, the top 5 countries, we have students coming in from Venezuela, Guatemala. And, you know, to me, it's okay, it's the opportunity, what kind of services, resources we have to support those students. And also trying to find the right teacher, or ESOL certified or endorsed teacher that not only has the expertise for the students, but I would say you need to have the heart for our kids so you could ensure that their needs are being met, right, as socially also and emotionally, linguistically, to make sure that our students are successful, like we just saw from Miriam. And that concludes our presentation this evening. So do you have any questions? Are we good?
Board members, any questions?
No questions, just
Okay.
comments.
Go ahead, Vice Chair.
First of all, I can't thank you all enough. You know, I have a dream that one day we'll all have Spanish or as a second language throughout the state of Florida, where all of our kids are bilingual. And then when they get to high school, they'll have the third language and that they can pick. So legislators, please listen. We need this. It's the second most prominent language in the United States, and it's important for all of our children to be engaged in as much culturally diverse languages as well as the unique situations that we have for them. I also want to thank you also for in having our foreign exchange students and welcoming them. I know you didn't mention that, but that's also one thing that's underneath your hat that you all do. All the students that come in and how you have to juggle all of that around too, getting the foreign exchange students and get them implemented and have the teachers ready for them in the middle of the year, or the beginning of the year, whatever it may be. So thank you. Kudos to you all and to the students and of course Brantley, my school right there. You guys are amazing. I mean, like the events that we go to and all the wonderful things that we have done there, and I just from the 5 years from when you started, it's gone from here to here, and really it's because the leadership, and thank you so much. You all are just amazing, and continue to do whatever you can, and whatever we can do to help, we're here. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, I did not mention the foreign exchange
No, you
program.
don't need to. It's okay.
But we do have currently right now in the district 24 foreign exchange students. These are students that have come from all over the world. Japan, you can name the country. We have a student from that country, and they are here for a whole academic school year, and they're doing well.
Yes, they
we
are.
touch base with them. They're doing really well at the schools.
Any other questions, board members?
I just wanted to say thank you. We had an opportunity to speak, and you gave me an in-depth description and learning lesson about all the programs you offer. I had the opportunity to go to Wicklow Elementary and experience the dual language program, and was watching math classes, which were just phenomenal to see both native Spanish speakers and native English speakers both getting the lesson in Spanish. So yeah, it was very engaging. I love the collaborative learning, and I actually saw the next lesson being taught at an English speaking classroom the next day. So it was interesting to see how right on task everyone is, and very engaging. So thank you. And it's nice to see from you all as well. Ms. Cardona had sung your praises, so it's nice to hear directly from you, and congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What disqualifies a student from the program? All these students that applied.
Specialists? Yes. So they have to take a entrance exam. It's called the WIDA screener. And so they get tested on the 4 language domains: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So how they perform on that entry-leveled screener will depend on their qualification. And the state has specific qualifications to enter the program.
Well, the only thing I can say is from my old Spanish, and this is going to sound weird. Muchas gracias por tu presentación.
And that was awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
evening. Thank you.
Merci, merci beaucoup, mes amis. I'm very, very proud to support this program. As you and I have talked many, many times, congratulations to you. Very
Thank you.
excited to see you walk across the stage. And again, whatever we can do to help support you, well done. Thank you for sharing this.
Thank you. Now I know you speak French. Okay.
And I would just like to add, the superintendent and I were able to attend your celebration last spring during lunch, and it was a fabulous. You could just feel the camaraderie, and everybody was working hard, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you, and best wishes to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Okay, next up, we have board items for discussion. Again, the roll call order: Vice Chair Sanchez, Member Pennick, Member Davis, Member Garrick, and then myself. Vice Chair Sanchez, do you have any comments?
For my committee report,
Nope, just this is general comments. Committees will be at the end.
so my regular up to date. I always forget. Do we do that one now or not?
No, we do the committees at the end.
And so last time I missed it, so can I just report on what I'm seeing and doing now? Or is that?
That's for later, the school visits and so
Okay,
forth, and the
then
committees.
I have no other, nothing.
Okay, thank you. Member Pennick?
No comments.
Thank you. Member Davis?
No comment.
Member Garrick?
No comments.
And I have no comments. Thank you. Next up, we are going to start our public comments. I wanted to let the audience know we've changed the format a little bit. We're going to have you at the dais, at the speaker. Jill has set that up for us. And our parliamentarian, Ms. Cole Palmer, will be the timekeeper, because I found that I can't keep track of the schedule if I'm also keeping track of the time. So for agenda items this evening, for 3 minutes, we have Nina Sandberg, followed by Leslie Kirschenbaum.
Point of
Okay,
order.
and I'm sorry, Member Sanchez or Vice Chair Sanchez is going to read the comments regarding board discussion. So if you go ahead and do that for us.
Sure. Policy 0169.1, public participation at board meetings. Excuse me. The purpose of public participation segments of the board meeting is to allow the public to address matters within the board's jurisdiction and not to resolve individual grievances or disputes. Public comments related to education, the board agenda, and the district are welcome and encouraged, but public comment segments are not forums to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. To maintain orderly conduct, the public comment segment of the meeting may not be used as open forums to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, including presentation of political and or campaign issues, announcing candidacy and or campaigning, or to engage in commercial speech attempting to sell a service or product to the board or to the public. Nor are they forums to address matters involving disciplinary actions of any kind, pending claims, complaints, litigation against the district or district personnel. Public comment segments, durations are as follows. Agenda items, limited to 3 minutes. One group representative speaking on a proposition, maximum of 6 minutes. Speaker must remain on topic for agenda item. Non-agenda items limited to 2 minutes. Speakers shall direct their comments only to the board and may not address the audience or other speakers. No speakers may yield his or her time to any other person. Generally, substitutions of speakers will not be allowed. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Sandberg, I think you are out of the room. We've moved the public speaking portion over to the dais, and our parliamentarian, Ms. Cole Palmer, will be the timekeeper for this evening. Thank you. You get your steps in today.
All right, where's the mic? Oh, okay. All right. I'm Nina Sandberg. I have been told that regular field trips have resumed after the pandemic. However, I see no evidence of this at my son's high school or my daughter's middle school. My son is in 11th grade and has not been offered any field trip since the fall of 8th grade. He is likely to graduate next year without having any field trip of any kind all through high school. The academic classes have arranged 0 field trips for the general population of students. Only the athletes, the band, the chorus, and other extracurricular clubs seem to get field trips. My daughter's last field trip was in the winter of 4th grade. She is in 7th grade now. Again, there are no general field trips being offered for the general population of middle school students, and only chorus, band, and a handful of sports get to go anywhere in the way of a field trip. At this rate, she is likely to graduate from middle school without ever taking a real field trip in middle school also. Supposedly, the elementary school students have their field trips to St. Augustine, SeaWorld, and other usual places back. But what are the middle and high school students getting? It seems to me that they are getting nothing at all. I am asking the school board and superintendent to see what can be done to arrange for some field trips for the middle and high school students. Also, the entire middle school is supposed to have field day in the spring at Indian Trails Middle School, not just the 8th graders. And the entire school is supposed to get a spring dance too, not just the 8th graders. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. Ms. Kirschenbaum?
Good evening, board members. I hope you all had a wonderful new year with your loved ones and are ready for a great 2023 year. My name is Leslie Kirschenbaum. I'd like to personally say welcome, Ms. Garrett and Mrs. Davis. I look forward to all of the great things each of you will contribute on the board. I'm here today to discuss one of the items that is up for discussion in the upcoming workshop on February 7th regarding the House Bill 149 that was passed on July 1st. 2021, Florida House Bill 149, also known as Senate Bill 192. Section 1003.574 enables the custodial parent of a student to request a camera system with visual, and audio recording capabilities if the student has an IEP in a self-contained classroom. A school district shall provide a video camera to any school with a self-contained classroom upon the written request of a parent of a student in the classroom. So, excuse me, I'm having hiccups right now. Horrible timing. I just want to put that out there that I'm a parent with a child with an IEP, and I am very interested in this pilot program that is, I guess, law right now, passed in July 1st, 2021. And I will be at the workshop as well, and I would love to hear more people input as far as how do we go about, does a parent request written formally? I personally don't want to do this to get my teacher in trouble, not because I don't trust her, it's because I would love to have those extra eyes to just watch my child who is nonverbal. I think it's a great program that is here and available for Florida district schools, and I just want to move forward with that. And that's all I have here. Happy New Year, guys, and see you next time.
Thank you. Okay, that's all of the agenda-related comments that I have at this time. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I do, that the consent agenda be approved as presented.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
Ms. Garrick, is there any discussion? You have discussion?
Oh, no.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. The motion passes. It was a big packet today. Okay. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation regarding student discipline hearings?
Yes, I do, and it's that the School Board of Seminole County approve the student disciplinary recommendations from December 5, 2022, and December 12, 2022.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nay. The motion passes. There is no unfinished business. Superintendent, do you have a recommendation regarding new business?
Yes, I do. It's that the chairman assign a school board member and alternate to serve on the Florida School Boards Association's Advocacy Committee.
Is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
I actually would like a discussion.
We need a second first. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, now discussion. Vice Chair Sanchez.
I actually am interested in being an alternate on this, as I've been on this FSBA since 2016 as the only member that has never, that has always been a member for FSBA and serve as on one of the committees.
Okay. So you want to serve as an alternate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we're assigning a school board member?
Correct, and an alternate.
Okay. Is there anyone that has an interest in serving as the primary?
I think you requested that I and
Okay.
I agreed. I actually
You agreed?
wanted to,
Okay.
yes.
So it will be Member Pennick and Vice Chair Sanchez as the alternate advocacy committee. Do we need a motion for that as well?
Correct, because we have a pending motion for the items as identified in the action item that are included in the agenda.
Okay, is there any other discussion? Okay, we'll call it for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nay? Okay, the motion passes.
Okay, and Ms. Cole Palmer, I want to just make, as a matter of clarification, that means that the action item as written in the board packet would be the assignee and the, for both the alternate and the initial. Is that correct?
That is correct. And it's fine as stated.
Okay, thank you. Okay, at this time, we're rolling into our public comment section, non-agenda. And these comments will be,
Point of order.
I'm sorry?
The superintendent report.
I'm sorry. I skipped over you.
That's okay.
Okay. I told you I needed help keeping track of time. Go ahead, Superintendent.
Well, and a number of items in the board packet are read-only. And as I asked Mr. Rice to come up to the podium, just want to say first thank you to our county commission and chairman Lockhart for delivering to us for every individual employee that participated in the hurricane efforts, whether it's sheltering, whether it was at the schools, a Hurricane Hero shirt that was distributed to our shelter principals, and they are then giving out to all of those individuals that assisted. And so I want to say thank you to our county, and thank you to Chairman Lockhart for making that happen for all of our employees. I know that Member Pennick and Chair Lockhart talked about that, and we got the numbers in, and every employee that assisted was able to get a shirt, and so we're very pleased about that. I also want to say thank you to the board members for attending the MLK banquet on this last weekend. We had a number of students that were honored and that received scholarships that we're very pleased about, and it was a wonderful event. And just thank you to the City of Sanford for such an effort for our students and for making that opportunity available to them so that they can have a chance to have those scholarships. It was a really great day. So those are all of the things that aren't included in the packet, except that we did have some news late last week. We got in our graduation rate for last school year, our official graduation rate. So I will ask Mr. Rice, the Assistant Superintendent over high schools, to kind of give us an update on all of that information. Mr. Rice?
Well, thank you, and good evening, Superintendent Beeman and board members. And I'm going to share with you just a little bit of information about our grad rate, more of the statistical stuff, and we have some additional information that will come in the coming weeks here as far as where we are in this current school year. But most importantly, it's my pleasure to announce that we received a 93% grad rate for the class of 2022. And as you know, that's kind of a delayed response from the state as we look to work through the data and make sure that all the data that is presented to the state has been parsed through and is correct. And so 93%, as you see on the slide here, is a slight decrease, and I want to kind of explain to you kind of where we are, because everyone sees going down and thinks, oh my gosh, what happened? So we go back several years ago in 2020, and you see 2020 and 2021 is starred because back in those 2 years, we had a special emergency order that was granted by the state. And that emergency order allowed for any students who did not achieve a passing score from their ELA assessment or their Algebra 1 assessment to still graduate as a result of not having the opportunity to sit for those assessments. So our numbers had gone up for the last several years. And this year we are down to the 93%. But what I think is important here as you look at this is that 93% needs to reflect back to the last year before the pandemic started, which was the 2019, class of 2019. That was a 92.8%. So despite all of the challenges over the last couple of years, despite the challenges to get our students in front of a testing platform to achieve their results, and all the learning loss that we've had, we still have increased by 0.2% from that 2019 graduation trend data. And you see on here as well, the state, we're not alone. The state of Florida as a whole has decreased as well from 90.1% down to an 87.3% as compared to the 86.9% back in 2019. We have a listing here of our schools and how each of them did, and I just want to say that our schools have been working so hard and tirelessly over the last year, 2-3 years to really work through the challenges and make sure that we understand that this graduation rate is really just an accomplishment of the great work that our teachers, our students from K-12 have done to lead our students to this opportunity for their next step and next stage in life. You see here the display of all of these schools and how they did. And in the far right column, you see a change of a 1-year change, and then you also see based on that change from the class of 2019. So this gives you a little bit of perspective as to where each of the schools grew and decreased, and we've got a lot of great work that's happened. Our principals have really led a great effort on each of our campuses. This is a breakdown here by the graduation rate by our subgroups, and as you can expect, as the overall rate decreases, so does the subgroup data here, and so we're going to continue to look at this and talk about where are our weaknesses and where are our strengths. I do want to point out, I think it's a huge accomplishment to show here that despite every other subgroup showing a decrease, our students with disabilities, as you see on here, have made an increase from that 85.9% to an 87.3%. So despite, again, all the challenges, our Operation Graduation efforts, our teachers, our leaders have all put in a lot of time to ensure that our students, all students, are able to walk across that stage. And here we have the district rankings. This is always that page that makes us all smile. And we have, as far as the all districts in the state of Florida, we are ranked 9th overall. And then in our 14 largest districts, that puts us in first place, once again, in the 14 largest districts, and Central Florida also puts us in first place here with that 93%. And you can see we're doing pretty well compared to our neighboring districts in the 14 largest districts in the state. So again, we're very pleased with the graduation rate and what we're doing. We've got a lot of work to do still this year, and we've got a lot of great teachers, great leaders putting in after school hours and doing programs to help our students to learn. We're looking at spring break academies and a lot to ensure that our students get what they need to be able to walk across that stage in May. So thank you. Any questions? I'd be glad to answer those.
Board members, any questions? Comments? Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's wonderful news. Well, that's a good way to segue into our public comments. Okay, again, I'm sorry, what's up?
Board committee updates.
Okay. Let's do our board committee updates. Vice Chair Sanchez.
First, I'll go ahead and start off with the Central Florida Zoo Board. We have a meeting tomorrow, but Sunday was the last day for our Asian Lantern Festival. I'm happy to report that it went extremely well, and there were many sellout nights, and seemed that I've been in the past, and I felt that it was even better this year than it was last year, and I didn't think it could ever get better. It's just amazing to see everything that they are able to put together and how quickly, and then take it down so rapidly as well. So my meeting for that board will be tomorrow, so we'll find out our numbers and see how we're doing financially and what other events are coming up. I would suggest that if anybody's interested in any of the spring camps or summer camps to visit the Central Florida Zoo site. There are many opportunities for students to participate in activities as well as homeschool programs that they have too. And with the coalition, we had our coalition meeting last Monday, and we had Dr. Paul Burns, who is our Chancellor of Division of Public Schools. That's his new role. And out of the 14 school districts, I believe we had about 10 representing districts there on our Zoom call. Those meetings are publicly noticed, and anybody can listen to the recording or get the minutes to that meeting. We basically discussed legislative priorities. I brought up the fact that I wanted to make sure that everybody took some time to look at the legislative committees as well as the schedule of different meetings. Please go ahead and visit the myfloridahouse.gov to look at their schedule, as well as floridasenate.gov, so you can see the different schedules. I know legislative days are coming up, but it's also extremely important that we engage not just us, but the community to speak and to write letters encouraging our legislators to fund education the way we need it to be funded. And there has been some changes up in Tallahassee, as Jacob Olivia has taken a position in Arkansas as their DOE secretary. So there has been a shift in some of the different positions, but Dr. Paul Burns is available for anybody. I did ask him some questions that I felt were really important for us to know on some of the different programs that we have. He shared a lot of the partnerships with the different schools, making sure that we have partnerships with our recruitment and retention for teachers, which we do with Seminole State and UCF. Our TEACH program is doing fabulous, and we would like to see it flourish even more so. And those are my two committee reports. Can I go ahead and share my?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I know we were doing it separately before. Quickly, there are so many wonderful events that are coming up. And if you haven't had a chance to visit the SCPS Dividend Community page, please do so. We have the cyberbullying, unwise social media use that's coming up. It's going to be held at Winter Springs High School, January 24th. So that is from 6 until 7:30 p.m. at Winter Springs High School. And Dr. Samir, I always say his last name wrong, Hinduja, who actually wrote a book, TBK, To Be Kind, and Cyberbullying years ago, which my son helped write way back in 2016, I believe. And it's extremely important that we get families there engaged to hear how to utilize social media and making sure that our students are using it correctly and that we are monitoring their use as well. Also, I want you to check out on that page too, we are in need of RAP volunteers, Reading Acceleration Program. I know I've had a couple reach out since I posted it, and there are 2 dates for the Reading Acceleration Program opportunities for training that are coming up. They're here, held at the Educational Support Building here. One is on January 30th from 9:30 to 11 a.m., and then the other one is on February 16th, 9:30 to 11 a.m. If you're interested, there's a Sign Up Genius on the website for you to go to. It's 30 minutes a week. So I've had a couple of retired teachers that are interested in helping out. 30 minutes makes a huge difference in our children's lives. So if you're interested, please visit that. Then also 100th anniversary for the Putting on the Ritz Wayne Dench Performing Arts Center is this weekend. And it's the Roaring 20s. I already have my tickets. It's a phenomenal event. I already bought my flapping dress and everything like that. So I know that if there's plenty of tickets still available, it starts at 5:30 p.m. It's from 5:30 till 9:30, and it's in Sanford, 201 Magnolia Avenue in Sanford. And then again, like our Superintendent Beeman said, the Martin Luther King banquet commencement banquet was amazing. And I also want to thank Kenny Bevan Kenny Bentley for being here and for everything that you have done for leading the parade and chairing the banquet. We can't thank you enough in the city of Sanford and all your committee members that helped with the phenomenal event. So thank you. And anybody that doesn't know Kenny, he's right there, always dressed.
Order, please.
Outshines everybody in his fabulous clothing. So that event was amazing along with the parade. The Young Men of Excellence had the chess competition this past week. The high school, I think there was 6 out of the high schools that participated. And I know that Member Pennick and I went to that over at Lyman High School and then had an opportunity to view the HVAC and plumbing updates that they have done there, which were really, really neat. And the last thing I'm going to say, because I know there's a lot that everybody else can talk about, robotics regional competition is coming up. That is January 28th. And we hope to see you there supporting our wonderful teams for robotics. Some of the elementary schools already started. I know Sable Point won their award last weekend, so thanks Moore Olvey and their team for getting their victory. And then, of course, all county band concerts are coming up. So check it out. And then Markham Middle's Living on Your Own. We need some volunteers for that for February 17th. That is a phenomenal program. And at that, have a happy, healthy new year. And please feel free to reach out to us anytime.
Thank you. Member Pennick?
Well, half of the stuff that you talked about, I was at too, so I'm not going to even go there. I haven't had any committees. My audit committee is at the end of this month, so we'll have an update after that. Some of my highlights, the Seminole legislative delegation, I will share. Dennis Lima, our sheriff, and I talked at the MLK celebration, and he has invited us to go and see the new program that he's working on. He spoke about at the delegation that expands the opioid project that he's been working on. He has partnered, the sheriff's office has partnered with Advent Health to create a mental health program directly across from the hospital in Altamont. So I encourage you to reach out to him and make an appointment and go get a tour. Their goal is really to help combat and redirect some of the unnecessary Baker acts that are happening. And so I'm excited to learn about that and how that will impact us. The Employee of the Year finalist was amazing. I look forward to the event at the beginning of February where we announce the Employee of the Year. And intern orientation last Friday was wonderful, seeing all of the interns out there looking to come in and finish their internship and then come to work for us. I think there were 56 people on the WebEx, and so it's exciting that we are working every angle to get teachers into our buildings. So I will keep it short. That is my update.
Thank you. Member Davis?
Yes, I have some information for the Children's Cabinet. It was a great meeting last week. I was glad I was able to make it. They have so many resources. There's so many organizations out there that just want to help children. And that's what the program seems to be about. And everybody can contribute something different. In the last meeting, we had the Sharing Center come and give us a speech about all of the things that they have. That's down on 1792, right before 434. Excellent programs over there. They provide, showers and food and additional things such as help registering for health insurance. They do work programs where they assist in writing resumes. They actually have a 4-week program where they come dressed as if they were going to work. They provide help with interviews and just learning how to be responsible in the workforce. We also had a program regarding adverse childhood experiences, and these are experiences that children go through as they grow up. It may be just a single parent home. It could be a parent with mental health illnesses. It could be a parent who got arrested and is in jail. All of these factors, they've learned that they actually affect the brain development, which then can create issues with social interactions and also with behaviors and learning processes. And so it's really important for us all to recognize those things and recognize that even though that this has affected them, that we can make changes in their life and we can make a difference. They don't have to leave school bearing all of this burden. So it's a really good program to learn about this stuff. I really loved it. And that goes into also, they are going to have a virtual training. It's 2.5 credits for some people, but it's open to anyone who wants to attend, and it's called the Question, Persuade, and Refer, and it's in reference to suicide. And so you learn about things that you might do, not even as a school teacher, but as an administrator, as a counselor, as a parent, as a friend. So I think it's great skills that, we should take advantage of. There's so many opportunities over the next months to sign up for that, and it's free. They're also looking for teen court volunteers, and this is age 13 through 18. You would go and you would be part of the jury. And a lot of students would really like that. It's in the evening time, so if you know anyone who wants to volunteer for that. I used to be in the pay program as a hearing officer, so it is part of my passion is the pay program. They have it over there at the Juvenile Center. So if anyone knows anyone who wants to volunteer for that, they are in great need for that. And the other thing is just to look forward to a date in April. We don't have the date yet. We think it's going to be at the Altamont Mall, and it's a giant resource fair where all of the organizations will come. And if you want to learn about all of the resources that we have in Seminole County, or if you know someone that's in need, they are all going to be there. And so it's a fascinating event where you can see what Seminole County really has to offer our children. And that's all the update right now.
Thank you. Member Garrick?
I serve on the Business Advisory Board, and we had our first meeting of the new year last week, and it was really, really heartwarming to see all of the business partnerships that we have. We talk about all the great things that we do in Seminole County and all the successes of Seminole County Public Schools, but we don't work in a silo. We have loads of public-private partnerships, and so I wanted to say thank you to that committee, looking for more ways that we can bring the public into our schools. I also serve on the Sanford Business Leaders Committee, and last month, just before the holidays, I had the opportunity to go up to Sanford. Commissioner Wiggins has a monthly meeting where he brings business leaders, he brings Sheriff's Department, Police Department, all sorts of different resources to the center, and they discuss not only what's going on throughout Sanford, but outside of in the greater community as well. There's always representatives from the schools, we've got representatives from the health department, so it is really a great resource. And because it was before the holidays, I also got to see the kiddos perform. That's at the Velma Williams Center, which is also the Boys and Girls Club. So that was a great treat just before the holidays. And Santa came and brought everyone at least one toy. So that was a great way to end the 2022. Speaking of Sanford and business leaders, I want to give a special thank you to Emery Green of the Coalition and Ford, who provided vehicles for both the superintendent and myself to ride in style. And of course, we had several school board members there celebrating MLK Day at the parade. And of course, Mr. Bentley took care of all of the details. So thank you very much for all of the leadership that you offer in the community and in your commitment to education. School visits, it has been busy. I want to say a special thank you to Dr. Cummings, to Superintendent Paul Sanko, and Superintendent Beeman, and I'm trying to think if anybody else took me along, but I had the opportunity, as I mentioned earlier, to go to Wicklow and see their dual language program in action. It is phenomenal. I am incredibly impressed by the work that we're doing to honor the culture of students who are native Spanish speakers, but also to teach our English speakers Spanish. It is really just a really heartwarming program, and they are right on point when it comes to their academics, not a beat behind any of the other schools. I was at Pinecrest Elementary, and I look forward to talking to our communications director about getting some video out about Pinecrest. Oh my word, it is like visiting a small liberal arts college. They have revamped the school. Not only are they meeting their educational gains, but they are doing some really, really innovative work. There is an e-sports room. I don't know if you all know this, but colleges are now offering scholarships for e-sports, and we are teaching our elementary kids how to have a leg up. They're also learning coding, working with some robotic dogs. They have manipulatives, hands-on large wooden manipulatives like you would find at the Orlando Science Center to create science experiments throughout the media center and throughout the school. So I'm looking forward to programs. I believe they're having a spring and summer event for their students. So it is a magnet program, and it is going to be really sought after in the next little bit. I was at Bentley Elementary, where it was exciting to see the same math lesson being taught over and over. And we often hear the concern that teachers have to, teach the exact same piece of curriculum, and the exact same curriculum the exact same way. And it was exciting to see the art of teaching and how each teacher was able to take that same exact lesson and make it their own. And each of their classrooms, of course, had their own climate and curriculum and took on the personality of that teacher. The kids were working collaboratively. It was very exciting. We talked about the Employee of the Year. So I was at Bentley, Pinecrest, Idlewild, of course, fascinating program. Oh my goodness, to have an IB elementary program is just such a coup for our district, doing great work at Idlewild. I hope I didn't leave anyone out. At the parade, we also saw a representation from Hamilton Elementary, Midway Elementary, Goldsboro Elementary, Seminole High, the Young Men and Women of Excellence. And then finally, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to all of the district personnel, the heads of the departments, and the assistant superintendents, deputy superintendent, who have really gone above and beyond. They are tremendous educators who, within an hour or so, have managed to condense all that they do in a lesson simple enough that I can take in and digest. And I so appreciate the work that each and every one of you are doing, and I look forward to supporting you in any way that I can. So thank you.
Thank you. We have had lots of school visits, which we've thoroughly enjoyed. We went to Oviedo High School. We went to Evans Elementary, not for the concretables, but for a visit, which was wonderful. Today was an incredible day for the Lake Howell Silverhawk community. We have been waiting and waiting for the groundbreaking of their new building, and so we were all able to participate in that. And I also had mayors and managers with the superintendent today, and this was the initial meeting for this calendar year. So we've learned a lot at that meeting, and pretty much everyone covered everything else. Would like to express on behalf of all the board our condolences, Kelly, for the loss of your father. It's been a tough year, and thank you, and know that we support you. Okay, so now it finally is time for public comment, non-agenda items. And again, we'll meet at this podium. And Ms. Cole Palmer, the parliamentarian, will be our timekeeper. I'm going to call the first three if you want to prepare yourselves. Deborah Kraus, Julie Reckner, and Catherine Andreg, I'm sorry.
Alrighty. Good morning, everyone. Deborah Krause from Altamont Springs. I know you're familiar with me. I sent my daughter back to high school to learn lessons that I couldn't teach her, lessons that she could only learn in institutional learning, and not necessarily good lessons either. You see, I taught my daughter to raise up the voices who cannot be heard. I taught my daughter to stand for the people who cannot be seen, and I taught my daughter to fight for what she knows is right. I believe that every member of this school board here today stands for those same principles. However, I do also understand that you are limited within your current system that you work in, and your hands are tied by the corruption and unnecessary oversight that exists. I know this feeling well from my own job and the confines that I work within, but it truly disgusts me to think that this feeling, no, it's this acknowledgement of our inability to change that which we obviously know is wrong within our system, carries down to our kids. Every day in our actions, we show the next generation that they are limited by the powers that be, that we cannot just do the right thing, we cannot just do what is right because it's the right thing, but rather we have to go through a system that limits us. Have you ever wondered to yourself just what would happen if you just did what you wanted to do because it was the right thing to do? If everyone agrees it is the right thing to do, why are we not doing it? You have the ability to do this right thing. It is your own policies. Specifically, I'm talking about the policy that discounts dual enrollment credits, contrary to the Florida Department of Education's determination of credit, and in my opinion, contrary to the law, that hurts our Seminole County students. Lastly, I'd like to end with one word: perseverance. Just like the other lessons I have taught my daughter, I will continue to pursue this issue. Not now because it doesn't matter to her situation, but rather because she said to me, her takeaway from this was when it comes to dealing with the bureaucracies, see something, say nothing. Obviously, that is not the right message we need to send to our kids. I want her to learn that when you see something that is obviously wrong, you keep fighting for it.
Ms. Krause, your
even when it
time has
doesn't affect you.
expired.
I got
Thank you.
Thank you. That's literally on my last one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Reckner?
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to address the board tonight. Excuse me. I would first like to express my heartfelt appreciation for this board and for each of your willingness to work for the betterment of our children and thus our future. I know you wouldn't be here if you didn't care about our children. And I know you all want the best for these dear young people, as does everyone in this room. That being said, I did want to remind you that with privilege comes responsibility. Every human being is a creation specially formed by our Creator, as stated in our Constitution. As such, this same God also said in His holy word, it would be better for a person to be thrown into the sea with a millstone around their neck than for them to cause one of these little ones to stumble. You may wonder as to the relevance of this. I'm speaking as to how, as decision makers for our schools, you're responsible and accountable before God for the decisions you make concerning our children. There's an old saying, God said it, I believe it, that settles it. But I would argue God said it, that settles it, whether we choose to believe it or not. He takes very seriously how people treat children, as evidenced by the previous scripture reference. I would hope that when you consider the policies, the content, and the stances that you take, you would remember that you will be accountable before God for those decisions. Actually, in the end, we'll all answer for our individual lives. And if we are responsible for another's welfare, we are held to a higher standard of accountability. I've been attending Seminole County School Board meetings for a while, and I've been very impressed with the way they have been conducted and with the hearts of each person here. And I just felt led to remind you of that responsibility as you carry out your duties. May you be led by God's wisdom and blessed with His approval. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Catherine Andre, followed by Nina Sandberg, followed by Judy Hang. Thank you.
My name is Katie Andre, and I'm a 6th grade teacher here in Seminole County, and I'm here to address teacher pay. Throughout life, there are things that I can and cannot do. I can drive a car, but I don't know how to fix it. So I will pay a mechanic $90 to $120 an hour to fix my car. I can make decisions for my life. However, sometimes those decisions are out of my scope. So I will pay a lawyer $300 an hour to help me with my legal decisions and anything along those lines. I'm not the most fashionable person, so I know how to wash my hair and brush it. I don't know how to cut it or do basic styling, so I will pay a stylist $60, $70 an hour to do that for me. Why is it then that we are paying teachers with bachelor's and master's degrees, years of experience, $30 to $40 an hour? Is it because they get summers off? Is it because they're a teacher, it's not that hard? Or is it because it's a caretaker position that is dominated by women? Personally, I think we've lost sight of the fact that somebody had to teach us to learn how to read and to critically think. And we forgot about that. In turn, teachers are starting to think to themselves, how much am I worth? A teacher in Seminole County can leave their job and get a job as a tutor for FEV tutor, a service provided through the district, and get paid $50 to $60 an hour. Currently, I'm taking a civics training to implement civics through all grade levels and across curriculum. I will be paid 33% less to implement that curriculum than I am being paid for the training. Since the beginning of the school year, you guys have lost 198 teachers. I ask that the district do everything it can to retain teachers, and that includes raising teacher pay.
Thank you. Ms. Sandberg?
I'm Nina Sandberg. The board needs to change non-agenda public comment time back to 3 minutes. This was supposed to be done way back in October, and it still isn't done. The board needs to approve putting surveillance cameras in the special needs classrooms. You already have surveillance cameras all over the place. All you need to do is add them to these particular classrooms where the most vulnerable children are in the school. There has been no expectation of privacy in SCPS since the 1970s, when SCPS built a bunch of open concept schools. Protect these vulnerable children with cameras in their classrooms. The superintendent needs to tell the board when she has the repairs to the lifts in the Oviedo High School automotive department scheduled. They only have about 2 lifts working, and they cannot function with only 2 lifts. When are these repairs scheduled? The board needs to hire an additional teacher or an aide for the OHS automotive program. Students are being turned away as juniors and seniors from the program after they have already invested years in the program. There is talk that a bunch of juniors are going to be thrown out of the program when they are seniors next year because there is not enough room for them next year. This is wrong. The seniors are supposed to get first dibs with their schedule requests and are supposed to be allowed to finish the vocational programs that they started and that they have been in all through high school. You must do something about this before the seniors and juniors turn in their schedule requests in February. Seniors are supposed to get first priority with regards to schedule requests for the automotive program. Thank you for your time and attention. And yes, the teachers need to have raises. You are hemorrhaging teachers. This cannot go on. Thank you.
Thank you. Judy, followed by Faiza Jaffer, followed by Gabriela Gongora Rosales.
Good evening. My name is Judy Yang, and I'm a teacher at Lake Howell High School. On Wednesday last week, the district and the SEA presented its arguments for their salary proposals to the magistrate. As you all know, if either side disagrees with the magistrate, the final decision is the board's. SEA's final proposal was to ask for the same amount next year as the district proposed for this year. In other words, we're not asking for more dollars this year. We're asking for a little security so we don't get the 0.5% we got last year. Starting with the 2018-2019 school year and going to this past fiscal year ending in 2022, the following unassigned fund balances were, according to the district's numbers in their financial report: 8.27%, 7.9%, 12.5%, and last year, 14.3%. The state mandates a 3% total fund balance overall. SCPS adopted a policy of 5%. At the hearing, the district presented a PowerPoint of the dollar amounts of these fund balances from 2018 through 2025. They use the argument of the Family Empowerment Scholarship, which diverts public education monies to private schools. According to the slides show, SCPS runs out of money in its fund balance by 2025. In fact, they project an $11 million deficit in 2 years. There are two things wrong with this. First, why is the district hanging on to so many taxpayer dollars? Funding for public education should be used for public education. SCPS did not get below their threshold in the last 10 years, as documented in their financial report. So perhaps our fund balance can be put to better use. Secondly, the presentation showed this deficit balance by 2025, which indicates the legislature would not be adequately funding public education, which is in our Constitution. Perhaps this presentation was a scare tactic to convince us that SCPS may be bankrupt if they offer the teachers a 2-year contract. Adequately providing for the education of all children includes paying teachers. If a
Ma'am, your
business
time
is
has
losing
expired.
employees, 5 seconds, please. and they
Finish
have
your
the means to
sentence,
stop
ma'am.
it,
Your time has expired.
why wouldn't they? This district can afford to pay their teachers.
Thank you. You can provide any comments to the board clerk, and she can include it in the record.
Thank you. Faiza Jaffer, followed by Gabriella, followed by Jessica Tillman.
Good afternoon, members of the respective school board. My name is Faiza Jaffer, and I'm a senior at Lake Mary High School. Today, I'm here to advocate for students who are survivors of sexual assault and/or harassment in the Seminole County School District. Students must be aware of what Title IX is, who to go to if sexually harassed, and steps to seek after the incident, like filling out the report form. Furthermore, it is imperative to remove the question why you believed it happened in this district's Title IX report form, as it resorts to secondary victimization. Once students fill out the Title IX report form, survivors should be given proper accommodations, whether that be mental and physical health support, academic support, and/or the removal of the perpetrator from the environment. The options a Title IX office can provide must be conveyed clearly to students so that we understand the support options available. We've heard from students in this school district who have reported sexual harassment and have been ignored or dismissed. One incident occurred when a student reported in an anonymous testimony that, when I did speak about it to the bus driver, asking to at least be moved away from them, all she said was, well, I asked you in the beginning of the year if you wanted to move your seat, and you said no, and didn't do anything. She was basically saying she cared more about a seating chart than preventing abuse. First, this may constitute to deliberate indifference in some cases, which is a violation of Title IX, and second, this is dehumanizing, ethically wrong, and a failure of schools' responsibilities to support students. It is urgent that we expand Title IX accessibility to students across the school's districts to ensure that SCPS takes the necessary steps to mitigate the epidemic of sexual harassment and/or assault in the schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Gabriella, followed by Jessica Tillman, followed by Stephen Cornea.
Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Gabriela Gongora Rosales. I'm a junior at Seminole High School, and I'm here to speak to you on behalf of students in SCPS schools who have been sexually harassed or assaulted. Sexual harassment and assault is an epidemic both around the country and in SCPS schools. This is a serious issue within our school district that impacts how safe a student feels when they are at school, which may cost that student their education. The fear, trauma, and pain a student may feel when they experience sexual harassment at school and receive no support could easily be mitigated and resolved if students, parents, and staff have access to proper information about Title IX and their legal right to file a report and receive help in such difficult times. SCPS should be responsible for providing students with these resources, namely, keeping students and families informed about the resources available to survivors of sexual assault. First, each school should make posters publicly available with relevant and correct information for students that defines sexual assault or harassment, as well as provides phone numbers or other information that helps them contact their administrative office and their Title IX coordinators in case they need to file a report. Students and teachers must receive information about sexual assault and harassment, including help to differentiate appropriate behavior and abusive or sexually harassive behavior. School staff must also be equipped with the proper resources with how to handle student-to-student sexual harassment and what rights students have under sexual harassment claims and reports. Finally, SCPS schools should remain accountable for their role in liaising proper support and closure to all survivors of sexual assault. It is imperative that all students receive the support that they are legally entitled to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jessica Tillman. I wanted to bring up a couple of things to the board. First of all, I really am excited to have the discussion of the ESE cameras in the ESE classrooms. I think that it will be a benefit to SCPS and helping protect our special needs children. Secondly, I wanted to bring up a book that I am currently reading. It's called Why Meadow Died. It's about the Parkland shooting, and it goes into detail on what their discipline procedures were, and it's very eerily similar to what happens in Seminole County. So kids are shifted around the district, things are swept under the rug, discipline reports are not done, kids are getting away with practically murder within the district, and they're just shuffled around and they're not really held accountable. So I'd really like SCPS to look at not only reading this book to see where maybe we can better serve our students, but also look at what we're doing. It's not just a SCPS problem, it's not just a Broward problem, it's a problem nationwide. It's a nationwide push down to lower discipline reports, and it's really eye-opening that we are more concerned with making sure that our numbers look good instead of actually disciplining and making sure our kids are getting the support that they need. So I would really encourage everyone to read this book. Again, it's Why Meadow Died, and it's written by a parent who lost a child in Parkland, and it's really informative, and I think that it would be a great perspective for you guys to see maybe where SCPS can do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica.
Hi, my name is Stephen Cornia, Seminole County teacher. This past weekend, my nephew visited me, and we played his favorite game. His favorite game is Jenga. I'm not sure if it's because he likes strategy or because he just likes pulling out blocks until they fall down and he can yell, Jenga! But I digress. And at the same time, I thought about an analogy. This year, nearly 200 teachers have left Seminole County. 200 bricks have been pulled out of our Jenga tower. So why does this matter? A 2019 study by the RAND Corporation determined that among school-related factors, teachers matter more to student achievement than any other factor. Not services, not technology, not facilities, not school leadership, but teachers. So teachers are leaving the classroom, and sooner than ever. In February 2022, a survey by the NEA reported that 55% of teachers were planning on leaving earlier than they had planned. This is a number that's 50% higher than a survey conducted just 6 months before. In 2021, EdWeek study said that 54% of teachers were planning on leaving within the next 2 years. In 2019, that number was 34%. 2 years ago, I sat at the Millennium High School and listened to then Teacher of the Year Clayton Donnan welcome the new teachers. He talked about passion, he talked about excellence, he talked about inspiration. It's sad to say that within 5 years, 44% of the teachers sitting in the room that day will no longer be in the profession. So how do we get teachers to stay? The easiest one is pay. It's obvious. The second one, the teachers reported, listen. So I would invite the board to do that. I would invite the board to visit with teachers, not on a school visit, not on a tour, not with the principal, but pick a name out of the school directory, call them up, say, hi, I'm your school board member. Let's sit down, have a cup of coffee, drink a gentlemanly beverage if that's your thing, and find out what the problem is. The biggest part of solving a problem is understanding what it is. The problem is teachers are leaving. Ask them why they're going. Don't make our A-rated Jenga tower into a C-rated pile of bricks by the time all the blocks are gone. Thank you.
concludes the public comments. Are there any other items before the board? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.